Thank you very much for the welcome. Thank you very much for being present here. Another difficult match, clear, against one team that is fighting very well. A group of fighters, it was clear. It made us take the game in terms of our commitment to the limit. It's so nice to see that we were able to do it from the very beginning, because I understand and it's clear that these kind of games can be very tricky, because the Richards Bay oblige us to play not in the way we want to play most of the time, because they don't give us time to press after we lose the ball. They don't give us, because they just immediately take the ball on the back of our defense or on the other side, so that we have to come back. So it's like a box-to-box game without the ball a lot of time in the middle. So it's difficult to install our offensive game. Also, it's clear that the pitch was very dry. It was clear that to see that how difficult it is to control the ball, to dribble one against one situations, even to carry the ball, to transfer the ball. So our style of play obviously gets prejudice due to that. But we sustained a good attitude. We knew that our moments we would have to define them very well, and we did it 2 times, and the attitude sustained the result, and I'm happy for that and for the effort of the players, obviously.
Thank you very much. Can I take the first set of hands? Just second and the start here. Please introduce yourself.
Afternoon, Coach. Lusanda here from Sakala. I know it was Lucas Ribeiro who sort of put the seal to the match today, but another one of your informed players, Ikram Reyners, didn't start the game today. What was the thought process behind starting him from the bench today? Considering his form?
Yeah, we have to deal with the condition every moment. The coach, as they say in England, is a manager. It means that we manage a group, not only in terms of their emotions, their psychological state, but also in terms of what is their condition, and have good people around me that also advises me and makes me have an assessment clear on the condition of the players at all moment. For example, we knew that it was after the stop from Grant, it was the first game, so that he would not sustain all the game. We knew it. We also knew that it would be difficult for Terence to finish the game, and he suffered in the last 10 minutes, obviously. The question is that the substitutions that I decided to do didn't allow me to keep one for Terence, because naturally Arthur, Terence and Grant would be players to substitute. It was planned like that, but games are to be won, and then sometimes you need to risk. On the case of Terence, we risked. But I think that we had good answers from the players that play. Most of all, we had a good commitment. I think that in the first half we were not very clever on using the space on the back of the defense. We were not expecting Richards Bay to be so aggressive on pressing us so high. That allowed us to have a lot of space in the back of the defense, but we didn't use it properly. So we submitted in certain moments to that pressure, and we could have stretched that line of pressure, put the defensive line lower in the pitch if we used the back, making them be concerned about the aggression on the back. Because in the first action we scored. But it was already too late, so at half-time we corrected a little bit. I think we entered good in the second half, better. Also because we understood that if we played the ball from left to right, we would disbalance a certain moment and we would be able to aggress from the outside. So we tried to cope with the spaces, but very difficult to play. Dry pitch, I think it's important that really there's a decision from PSL to oblige to water the pitch in pre-warm-up, after the warm-up and at half-time, in order to increase the quality of football. Obviously that people can say, but your players are more technical, maybe they get advantage from it. It's what kind of football you want to sell. Because in the end, it's a product that we want to sell, and I think the football can be better played by both teams, because I also see good players on Richards Bay and in all the teams against whom we played already. So it's obviously for the interest of football. It would make the game quicker for both teams. It would make the game more spectacular, and in the end that's what we want, to have a good show, because football is also a product that is sold, and I think it will help.
Hi Coach, congrats on the win today. Coach, you've played about 4 interesting or rather tough games, but you've had your 4 clean sheets as well. Do you feel as if you've sorted that part of your game in terms of how you want the team to play defensively, and your focus will probably be more on the offensive side in terms of trying to improve that?
Thank you, very good question. I think it's important to understand that despite the first game we played at home, the other 3 games we play away. So we are and we're going to play 2 more away, 3 more away, because we play now Raja, then we play Maniema, then we're going to play again Championship next round is also away match. So we are in a lot of away matches. So obviously, that if we go for statistics, the results at home usually they have a higher volume of goals. It's normal because you feel. But I think that the fact that we are winning is very important. The fact that we are fighting to win is also very important. I praise the attitude. And I believe that attitude, together with a lot of commitment regarding behaviors, is allowing us to suffer or not to suffer goals. I hope we can keep it for a long time. But if the attitude will be right, we can have a good outcome from that. And obviously that is clear that attacks wins matches, but defense can win championships, and that's the objective. I don't mean that our team will now start being defensive, no. But as I said in my first interview, in my first press conference, the team needs to understand the 4 moments. And if we see there's something we can do better in one of them, we'll do it. Today was very difficult to make a good defensive transition, very difficult, because when we tried to press, the ball was already put it out in another space in the first touch sometimes, so aggressively, and didn't allow us to go for the pressure. Also was very difficult to make good transitions, because our transitions usually are from foot to foot, and the pass sometimes stucks. I remember one ball from Artur Salles, he can go for the goal and the ball just stays behind because he didn't went on the turf. So we need to analyze every time the games. I don't analyze the games how we were defensively and offensively. I analyze the games in general, the behaviors, and of course we need to pay attention to all the 4 moments of the game, also to the set pieces, and we can do always better. We can always do better, obviously.
Thank you. Welcome to Devon, Coach. From I hope this question doesn't come across as similar. A couple of 1-0s in your first few games, 2-0 today. Is this a sign that things are finally breaking, or should we look into it that way? Or
as I said from the very beginning, the moment I arrived here, what I want from my players is that they really feel themselves part of a big family. That gives an emotional status that is very difficult to break, because an attitude is the most difficult thing to break. So I want the team to have the attitude, but that attitude must be put in the pitch regarding how we want to attack, the way we want to defend, the way, of course. We would like to have more the ball on the last part of the pitch, in the last third, the play from one side, try to find, but so difficult, really, so difficult today to pass the ball in the right conditions, because first the opponent very aggressive, reducing the spaces, but also the pitch didn't allow to make 1, 2, 3 and find the space, really difficult. So the players had to cope with more errors than usual, more bad receptions than usual, so more transitions also than usual. And these transitions very aggressive, because always on the back, always on the other side, always on the space, making us run and run and run. So the pattern of effort today quite difficult. I believe in the end we had a lot of meters of high intensity runnings. That is always very tough also to recover from. So now we need to pay attention on the recovery of the players, because it was a very aggressive game in terms of physical demand. And I'm happy that we could sustain. Because we come from a lot of games. I remember that Richards Bay played the last game on the 14th, but meanwhile we already play 3. So we need to cope also with the efforts, and this is very important.
Last defense.
Coach Mazola Molife from SABC Sport. I wanted to ask, obviously with the January and February congestion of fixtures, isn't going to get any better. The lack of a better word, the changes and rotations that we've seen, is that likely to be a pattern, or are you a coach that's likely to make us see the preferred starting lineup, so to speak? I know all players are important, but most coaches do have a preferred starting lineup for consistency's sake.
Also, very good question. I have to confess you that the context obliges me to be different than I usually like. I don't like to change a lot the teams. I confess to you. but also we have to deal with different reality, because indeed we have a fixture in the limit. There are players that we have in the group that come from long-term injuries, as is public. We have some of them that are recovering. Grant is now joining the group. Lebuza will probably join the group. Marcel will probably come back on the group. So, according to what we have in the different moments to manage regarding recover, because sometimes we have a player that probably you would like him to play regarding the characteristics of the game and his own characteristics, but due to his condition it's better to line up another one that can give a performance that probably will not have today. For example, today the question of Ikram was clearly giving him some time to not to expose him to such an aggression like he had in the last games. But at the same time we have a group of players that is quite huge. And I also need to pay attention to the players that I have at home that are, in the right moments they have quality. They can give an answer like Arthur did today, like Terence did today. I should also pay attention to that, because any moment we need to have players ready to substitute the other ones. Important is that they believe that we will give them opportunities, and when we give them, that they give the proper answer so that they are ready for that moment, because a player can make a difference on his own life. Tashrik today comes from an injury quite long also. He's a very interesting player, quite young, but can give us things. So I don't like to highlight no one, because I believe that we are working in a line all together. I just want them to focus on the daily work, so that at the right moment, if an opportunity comes or a change by rotation or because someone got injured, we have the answer. And that's what they need to focus. They need to focus, because I believe on them. So I hope they believe also on them in the same way.
Hi, Coach. Nathan from Focus. You've played 4 games now. I'm sure you've watched some teams also, especially those that you're going to play in the near future. And just your thoughts on the league, the level of the league, and also if you can touch on the competition from Pirates, who are really pushing Sundowns this season.
The league is obviously a tough league. It's a tough league, played by athletic players in general. So the level of the physical demand of the matches is very high, very, very, very high. We have data that if I compare to previous places where I was, the volume of high intensity distances that the players do in the game is incredible. That's the major difference. But it's important we have a capacity to give an answer to that, because also those actions are the ones that make a difference in the game, especially if you can sustain them in the parts of the game where the other team is more tired. And to cope with the style of game like we saw today, like we saw the last two ones that we played, also Amazulu, and it's the same style, so we have a lot of runs back, so the team is always, it's quite difficult to have the team, like I usually say, traveling together on the pitch, so that we can always we go up together, we come down together, because sometimes we are going up and the ball is already coming here, so we have to come back, and this separates the team a little bit. I don't like to see this. I like the team always to be connected and to be organized. So sometimes we need to organize ourselves in the back, so then we can go together in the front. Tough competition, very exciting in terms of management from my part. Competition is there, we have to focus on us in the right moment, because certainly the decisive moments will arrive. On those moments we have to give an answer positive, for sure we'll be ready for it.
Last time,
Coach, you've been using Onyango in the absence of Ronald Williams. You've got other 2 young keepers. Onyango is 40 years old. Is that how it's going to be? Is it going to be number 2, or are we going to give other guys a chance? We have been playing for Sundowns in a long time.
Thank you for the question. I don't look for the identity card of the players. We look for performance, and Dennis has been able to give performance. He made a wonderful game, and not last one, but the first game that we played for championship. I guess against Stellenbosch, he made a wonderful game, and also he made a wonderful game today. So obviously competition is tough for the other ones. We have extra 3, not only 2. We have 5 goalkeepers. So we have Sanel, we have Peters, we have also Jordi, and it makes it very difficult for them. obviously having a goalkeeper like Ronun, that obviously is clearly our first goalkeeper. But we trust them all. They were here with us. We have no problems to play Dennis. Dennis has minimum another game to play. He gives us comfort, he gives us attitude, he gives us experience, he gives us tranquility so to face the challenge that we have ahead of us, like the other ones also.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thanks, everyone.